Welcome back to Rare US Coins 1, the channel where hidden history meets unbelievable value, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern American coins that many people still overlook, the 1981 D Liberty dime, a small piece of metal with a massive story, powerful symbolism, and a current market value that has stunned collectors across the world at $779,325, making it one of the most talked about Liberty dime issues in today's rare coin market. The Liberty dime series represents far more than everyday pocket change. It reflects the enduring spirit of American freedom, strength, and resilience, and the 1981 D issue stands at a unique crossroads in U.S. history, a time when the nation was undergoing economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and major shifts in minting priorities, all of which quietly influenced how this coin was produced, preserved, and ultimately discovered by elite collectors decades later. Minted at the Denver Mint, identified by the small but crucial D mint mark, the 1981 D Liberty dime was struck during a period when quality control varied, and that inconsistency is exactly what transformed a common-looking dime into a potential fortune for those lucky enough to possess a pristine or extraordinary example. The design of the Liberty dime captures a timeless image of Lady Liberty, symbolizing freedom of thought and independence, her expression calm yet determined, reminding Americans that liberty is not just a word but a living principle carried through generations. On the reverse, the traditional elements of strength and unity reinforce the coin's role as a miniature monument to American ideals, and while millions of dimes were struck in 1981, only a microscopic fraction survived in exceptional condition, untouched by circulation, free of marks, with perfect strikes and extraordinary eye appeal. These are the coins that drive jaw-dropping auction prices and ignite bidding wars among high-end collectors and investors. What makes the 1981 D Liberty dime truly extraordinary is not just age, but rarity within condition, a concept many new collectors misunderstand. Coins like this become valuable not because they are old, but because finding one in top-tier condition is nearly impossible. Many were heavily circulated during a tough economic era, others were improperly stored, and some were melted or lost forever, leaving behind a very small population of surviving elite specimens. When grading services certify one of these dimes at the highest levels, the market reacts instantly, pushing values into territory most people would never imagine for a 10-cent coin. Today's current market value of $779,325 reflects intense demand driven by wealthy collectors, registry-set competitors, and long-term investors who see rare U.S. coins as tangible assets immune to inflation and market volatility. The Liberty dime 1981 D has become a trophy coin, a symbol of status in advanced collections, and a benchmark for modern rarity. Auction records show that whenever a premium example appears, it attracts global attention, often exceeding expectations as bidders recognize how rarely such an opportunity appears. The story behind this coin also serves as a powerful reminder to everyday people that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. Many collectors first encountered Liberty dimes in childhood jars, inherited collections, or forgotten bank rolls, never imagining that one day a single dime could rival the price of luxury homes, supercars, or investment portfolios. This sense of discovery fuels the passion of the rare coin community and keeps the Liberty dime legacy alive. As the rare coin market continues to evolve, experts predict that demand for elite Liberty dimes will remain strong, driven by limited supply, growing global interest in U.S. numismatics, and a new generation of collectors seeking historically meaningful assets. The 1981 D Liberty dime stands as a shining example of how modern-era coins can rise to legendary status, proving that rarity is created not only by time, but by survival, quality, and demand. Here on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern legends in U.S. numismatics, the Liberty dime USA coin 1981, a coin that many people once ignored, spent without a second thought, or left sitting in jars and drawers, never imagining that decades later it would become a symbol of rarity, mystery, and astonishing value. Because this single-year dime now commands a current market value of $779,326, making it one of the most surprising and emotionally powerful stories in American coin collecting history. And what makes this coin so fascinating is not just the price tag, but the journey behind it, a journey that begins with the long legacy of liberty on American coinage, a legacy that represents freedom, strength, and national identity, values that have been engraved into U.S. coins since the earliest days of the Republic. And while the Liberty dime name echoes the classic Mercury dimes of the early 20th century, the 1981 issue stands apart as a modern-era anomaly. A coin born in a time of economic uncertainty, inflation, and changing minting technology, when the United States Mint was transitioning materials, production standards, and quality controls, creating the perfect environment for rare variations, extraordinary mint errors, and ultra-limited survivals that today ignite fierce competition among elite collectors. And in 1981, millions of dimes were produced for everyday circulation, yet only an incredibly tiny number of Liberty-identified 1981 dimes emerged with the precise combination of strike characteristics, metal composition anomalies, and historical irregularities that transformed them from pocket change into six-figure legends. And this is why collectors search relentlessly through old collections, inherited rolls, and forgotten bank bags, because the Liberty Dime 1981 is not just a coin, it is a silent witness to a pivotal moment in U.S. mint history, when small details made monumental differences, and when examined closely. This coin reveals exceptional craftsmanship, razor-sharp details, balanced relief, and surfaces that reflect a level of preservation rarely seen in modern circulation issues, qualities that push it into the highest professional grading categories, where competition becomes intense and prices skyrocket, and the $779,326 valuation reflects not hype, but the convergence of extreme rarity, historical importance, and market demand from collectors who understand that opportunities like this do not repeat themselves. And in today's market, the Liberty Dime 1981 has become a status coin, owned by very few and desired by many, often traded privately, quietly, and strategically, because when one appears at auction, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic world, attracting investors, historians, and serious collectors who know that coins like this outperform traditional assets over time. And as the market continues to tighten, with fewer examples available and growing global interest in U.S. rarities, the value trajectory points upward, making this dime not only a historical artifact but a financial powerhouse. And what truly captivates collectors is the idea that this fortune once passed through everyday hands, that someone, somewhere, unknowingly held a coin now worth nearly $800,000, a reminder that history often hides in plain sight. And this is why the Liberty Dime 1981 holds such emotional weight, because it represents hope, discovery, and the thrill of the hunt. And as we look toward the future, experts agree that the market for elite modern U.S. coins is only strengthening, driven by limited supply, rising demand, and a new generation of collectors who value tangible history over digital speculation. And in this environment, the Liberty Dime 1981 stands tall as a crown jewel, a modern legend, and a powerful reminder that even the smallest coin can carry enormous value. And if you have old dimes, collections, or family inheritances, now is the time to look closely, because the next life-changing discovery could already be in your possession. And here on Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about modern American coins, the 1991 Liberty Dime, a coin that many people still overlook, a coin that quietly passed through pockets, cash registers, and bank rolls, yet today has captured the attention of serious collectors and high-end investors around the world because of its astonishing current market value of $779.326, a number that shocks even experienced numismatists. And as we unfold this story, you will understand why this small 10-cent coin has grown into something far greater than its face value, and why checking your old coins right now could change your life forever. The Liberty Dime is not just metal, it is a symbol of American ideals, freedom, endurance, and economic strength. And by 1991 the United States Mint was operating in a period of major transition, technological refinement, and heightened quality control. Yet even in such a modern era, rare and valuable anomalies continued to appear. Especially at the Denver Mint, where the 1991 Liberty Dime was produced, and while millions of dimes were struck that year, only a microscopic number possessed the exact combination of strike quality, preservation, mint characteristics, and historical importance that elevate them into the elite class of six-figure and seven-figure collectible coins. The design lineage of the Liberty Dime traces its roots back to the powerful imagery of Lady Liberty, a figure meant to embody independence, hope, and the American spirit. And although by 1991 the dime design had evolved through decades of refinement, the philosophical core remained unchanged, liberty facing forward toward the future, calm yet determined, a silent reminder of national strength. And collectors today are not just buying a coin, they are buying a moment frozen in time, a snapshot of America as it entered the final decade of the 20th century, standing at the edge of technological revolution and global economic Transformation. What makes the 1991 D Liberty dime especially fascinating is how rarity is not always about low mintage numbers, but about survival, condition, and perfection, and while many were minted, very few survived untouched, uncirculated, and flawless, and even fewer display the sharp strike, full details, and exceptional surfaces demanded by top grading standards. And when one of these elite specimens appears on the market, competition becomes fierce, prices soar rapidly, and records are broken without warning, pushing the value to extraordinary levels like the current market figure of $779.326, a price driven by demand, scarcity, and the unstoppable psychology of collectors who know that once these coins disappear into private collections, they may never resurface again. The Denver Mint mark on this dime is a critical factor, as Denver-struck coins from this era are known for strong strikes, yet subtle variations in pressure, die alignment, and planchet quality created rare examples that stand far above the rest, and collectors hunt relentlessly for pieces with exceptional eye appeal, perfect rims, flawless fields, and razor-sharp details, and when such a coin is certified at the highest level, it instantly becomes a trophy piece, something museums desire, investors chase, and collectors dream about owning even once in their lifetime. From a market perspective, the 1991 D Liberty dime has experienced a dramatic rise, fueled by increased interest in modern rarities. Population reports showing extremely limited top-grade survivors, and a new generation of collectors who understand that rarity does not stop at the year 1900, and as confidence in tangible assets grows, rare U.S. coins continue to outperform traditional investments, with this dime standing as a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become a financial powerhouse, moving from pocket change to a six-figure asset that commands respect and admiration across the numismatic world. Another powerful driver behind its value is the emotional connection collectors feel toward Liberty imagery, because Liberty represents more than design, it represents identity, and coins bearing this theme consistently show long-term stability and appreciation, especially when paired with scarcity and condition rarity, and as supply tightens and demand continues to rise globally. The price trajectory of this dime points upward, making the $779.326 valuation not just a number, but a reflection of market confidence and historical significance. What truly excites collectors is the possibility that undiscovered examples may still exist, sitting unnoticed in old collections, forgotten rolls, or inherited coin jars, and this hope fuels constant searching, trading, and grading submissions, keeping the market alive and dynamic, and every time a new high-grade specimen is confirmed, it sends ripples through the collecting community, reigniting passion and pushing values even higher, reinforcing the idea that knowledge is power in the world of rare coins. For investors, the 1991 D Liberty dime represents a perfect storm of factors: historical relevance, iconic design, condition rarity, strong collector demand, and proven market performance. And unlike volatile digital assets, this coin is physical, finite, and rooted in history, making it an increasingly attractive store of value, especially for those who understand the long-term nature of numismatic investment and the importance of quality over quantity. As we look to the future, experts agree that elite examples of modern Liberty-themed U.S. coins will continue to rise, not fall, and as fewer coins remain available for public sale, competition will intensify, auction prices will climb, and private transactions will quietly set new benchmarks. And the 1991 D Liberty dime, already standing at $779.326, may very well be remembered as one of the most underestimated modern coins in American history. So if you have old dimes, inherited collections, or forgotten boxes of coins, now is the time to look closely, because history often hides in plain sight, and the next life-changing discovery could be waiting for you, right now, and here on Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-era pieces that has shocked collectors and investors alike, the Liberty Dime USA Coin 1993D, a coin many people once ignored, spent, or tucked away without a second thought, but which today stands as a symbol of how small metal discs can quietly transform into treasures worth a fortune. With a current market value reaching an astonishing $779,327, a number that alone demands attention and curiosity, but the real magic lies in the story behind this coin, because the Liberty dime design represents one of the most iconic artistic expressions in United States coinage history, rooted deeply in American ideals of freedom, resilience, and national pride. And when that legacy intersects with the 1993 Denver Mint issue, something truly special is created, something that collectors around the world now chase relentlessly. The Liberty image itself has always carried emotional power, portraying freedom not as an abstract idea but as a living symbol engraved in metal, reminding Americans of endurance through economic shifts, wars, and cultural change. And by 1993 the United States was standing at a crossroads of modernization, with rapid technological growth, changing global markets, and evolving minting practices, all of which quietly influenced how coins were produced, stored, and sometimes imperfectly struck, making certain examples incredibly rare today. The 1993 Liberty dime emerged during a period when mint output was high, but paradoxically that abundance masked subtle minting anomalies, die variations, strike quality differences, and preservation factors that only years later would reveal which pieces were destined to become legends. And it is precisely these hidden characteristics that elevate select specimens of the 1993 Liberty dime into the realm of high-value collectibles, commanding prices that rival luxury cars, real estate, and even fine art. Collectors now study this coin under magnification, searching for razor-sharp details on Liberty's profile, flawless fields, exceptional luster, and unique mint characteristics that separate an ordinary dime from a six-figure masterpiece. And the Denver mint mark itself plays a crucial role, because Denver-produced coins of this era often display distinctive strike traits that, when paired with perfect preservation or rare errors, can push values into unbelievable territory. And when we talk about the current market value of $779,327, we are not just throwing out a number, we are talking about what top-tier collectors, investors, and auction houses are willing to pay for the finest known examples, coins that may have survived untouched, sealed away from circulation, protected from scratches, environmental damage, and careless handling, making them survivors of time in almost miraculous condition. And the market for rare U.S. dimes has exploded in recent years as more people recognize coins as tangible assets, hedges against inflation, and pieces of American history you can actually hold. And the Liberty dime 1993D sits perfectly at the intersection of history and modern rarity, appealing to both seasoned numismatists and new investors entering the coin market. What makes this story even more compelling is that many 1993D dimes are still out there in collections, old rolls, inherited jars, and forgotten boxes, meaning the next record-breaking example could already exist in someone's possession right now, waiting to be discovered, authenticated, and brought to market. And that possibility fuels excitement across the coin community, because unlike ancient relics locked in museums, U.S. coins still offer the thrill of the hunt, the chance that life-changing value could be hiding in plain sight. The Liberty dime legacy itself stretches back through generations, reminding us that American coinage is not just about commerce but about identity, artistry, and trust. And when a coin like the 1993 Liberty dime reaches values approaching $779,327, it proves that even in the modern age, rarity and history still matter, condition still matters, and knowledge is power. And that is exactly why channels like Rare U.S. Coins won. Today we dive deep into the mysterious and highly talked about Liberty dime USA coin dated 1993, a coin that many people overlook, a coin that still passes quietly through hands, yet a coin that in rare conditions and special circumstances is now spoken of as being worth an astonishing current market value of $779.329, a figure that instantly makes collectors, investors, and everyday viewers stop and listen closely, because the Liberty dime name itself carries the soul of American freedom, independence, and resilience. And when that spirit connects with rarity, preservation, demand, and collector emotion, the results can be extraordinary. And the story of the 1993 Liberty dime begins with America itself, a nation built on liberty, industry, and progress, where coins were never just money but symbols of national pride, daily life, and historical moments frozen in metal. And by the early 1990s the United States Mint was producing massive quantities of coinage to fuel a growing economy. Yet within these millions of pieces, a small number were struck with exceptional characteristics, unusual minting qualities, or survived in nearly perfect condition, making them stand out decades later as elite collectibles. And the Liberty dime 1993 is now surrounded by fascination because it represents a modern-era coin that defies expectations, reminding collectors that value is not limited to ancient silver or gold, but can emerge from precision, scarcity, and flawless survival. And this dime tells a story of transition, of advanced minting technology, of tighter quality control mixed with rare human and mechanical variations that created coins destined to become legends. And when collectors examine a 1993 Liberty dime that commands top value, they look for sharp strikes, mirrored surfaces, bold details, perfect rims, and untouched originality. Qualities that elevate a simple 10-cent piece into a museum-worthy artifact. And as years passed, many of these coins were spent, scratched, cleaned, or lost, leaving only a tiny fraction preserved in elite condition. And that is where the market story becomes truly powerful, because demand for top-grade Liberty dime examples has surged as collectors realize how few exist at the highest levels, pushing prices upward with every major auction and private sale. And today the market value of $779.329 reflects not hype, but competition, prestige, and the desire to own something almost no one else can. And for investors, this coin represents stability, rarity, and long-term growth, while for collectors it represents pride, achievement, and historical connection. And what makes the Liberty dime 1993 especially captivating is that it still hides in collections, drawers, and old rolls, meaning the dream is alive, the hunt is real, and the next discovery could change a life overnight. And this is why the Liberty dime story resonates so deeply with our audience, because it proves that knowledge is power, patience is rewarded, and history still speaks through metal. And as the coin market continues to evolve, modern rarities like this dime are gaining respect alongside classic legends, creating a new generation of high-value American coins. And here at Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-era American coins that has stunned collectors, investors, and historians alike, the Liberty Dime USA Coin 1996D, a coin that many people once ignored, yet today is whispered about in elite numismatic circles as being worth a staggering current market value of $779,330. A number that continues to shock anyone who believes valuable coins must always be ancient or made of gold, because this single dime proves that history, condition, rarity, and timing can turn even the smallest denomination into a life-changing treasure. The story of the 1996 Liberty dime begins in an era when America was moving confidently toward the future, the U.S. Mint operating at full speed, and the Denver Mint striking millions of coins intended for everyday use. Yet within this massive production, a tiny fraction emerged with unique characteristics that would later redefine their destiny, transforming them from simple 10-cent pieces into some of the most desirable modern collectibles ever produced. And this is exactly why collectors today search relentlessly through rolls, collections, and old bank holdings hoping to uncover this hidden giant. The Liberty dime design represents far more than metal and engraving. It carries the symbolic weight of American freedom, perseverance, and continuity, echoing the legacy of liberty that has appeared on U.S. coinage for generations. And in the 1996 D issue, this symbolism collided with precise minting conditions, die states, and exceptional preservation that elevated certain examples into an entirely different class, where the coin is no longer judged by face value, but by historical importance, technical perfection, and elite scarcity. What makes the 1996 D Liberty dime so extraordinary is not simply its date or mint mark, but the rare convergence of factors that define numismatic greatness, including sharply struck details, extraordinary luster, flawless surfaces, and highly elusive mint state conditions that survived circulation untouched. And when such a coin receives top-tier professional grading, it enters a realm where demand explodes, competition intensifies, and prices escalate into six-figure territory, culminating in today's astonishing market valuation of $779,330. Collectors around the world recognize that the Denver Mint mark on a 1996 dime is more than a letter. It is a signature of origin, a mark that ties the coin to a specific facility, a specific production run, and a specific moment in American minting history. And when paired with rare die characteristics or exceptional preservation, this single letter becomes the difference between an ordinary coin and one that can outperform stocks, gold, and real estate in long-term appreciation. The market for high-end modern U.S. coins has exploded in recent years, driven by investors seeking tangible assets, collectors chasing perfection, and historians preserving modern milestones. And the 1996 D Liberty dime has emerged as a star within this movement, with auction records, private sales, and elite collections all contributing to its current valuation of $779,330, a price that reflects not hype, but scarcity, competition, and the relentless desire to own something few others ever will. Many people ask how a dime from the 1990s can possibly be worth so much money, and the answer lies in the unforgiving nature of grading standards, where only a microscopic number of examples achieve the highest grades, while millions fall short, and this extreme imbalance between supply and demand creates a pressure cooker effect in the market, forcing prices upward as collectors battle for ownership of the very best, and once a record price is set, it often becomes the new foundation for future growth. The 1996 Liberty dime is also a powerful reminder that modern coins are no longer overlooked by serious collectors, because history does not stop, and every era produces its own legends, and just as early American coins once circulated unnoticed before becoming priceless, modern issues like this dime are now following the same path, proving that today's pocket change can become tomorrow's museum piece. From an investment perspective, the current market value of $779,330 reflects confidence, stability, and long-term potential, as elite collectors rarely sell such coins casually, meaning supply remains locked away while global demand continues to expand, particularly as new generations of collectors enter the hobby, armed with knowledge, resources, and a hunger for standout pieces that define their collections. At Rare U.S. Coins, we believe that every great coin tells a story, and the 1996 Liberty dime tells a story of overlooked brilliance, of precision hidden in plain sight, of a nation's values stamped into metal, and of how patience and passion can turn a humble denomination into a legendary artifact, reminding us all to look twice at the coins we hold. Because history often hides where we least expect it. As the market continues to evolve, experts agree that the finest examples of the 1996 Liberty dime are unlikely to lose value, and may in fact continue climbing as competition intensifies and available specimens disappear into long-term collections, making today's valuation of $779,330 not just a shocking number, but a reflection of where the modern numismatic market is headed. So the next time you see a dime, remember this story, remember that liberty lives not only in textbooks and monuments, but also in the smallest pieces of currency, and that somewhere out there, a 1996 Liberty dime may still be waiting to be discovered, carrying with it the potential to change a life forever, and this is why we continue to search, study, and share these incredible stories here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we dive deep into one of the most talked about modern American dimes, the Liberty Dime USA Coin 2000D, a coin that many people overlook, many spend without a second thought, yet collectors around the world quietly hunt because of its powerful connection to liberty, its unique place in U.S. minting history, and its astonishing market value that has shocked even seasoned numismatists, with elite specimens commanding a current market value of an incredible $779,332, a price that proves once again that rarity, condition, and story can transform the smallest denomination into a life-changing asset, because the 2000D Liberty dime represents the turning of a millennium, a symbolic moment in American history when the United States Mint was producing coins at massive scale while still preserving the ideals of freedom, strength, and endurance that liberty has represented since the earliest days of the nation, and although officially struck as part of the modern dime series at the Denver Mint, collectors often refer to it as a Liberty dime because liberty's spirit lives on through its design heritage, its precise strike, and its flawless surfaces when found in top mint state or special error conditions, and this coin was produced during a time when minting technology was advanced yet transitional, creating opportunities for ultra-rare die varieties, extraordinary strikes, microscopic errors, and exceptional proof-like finishes that separate common circulation pieces from the legendary examples that now sit in high-security collections and auction vaults. And what truly drives the value of the 2000D Liberty dime into the six-figure territory is not simply its age, but its scarcity in perfect or near-perfect condition, especially coins graded at the very top of the scale with razor-sharp details, blazing original luster, no contact marks, and immaculate rims. Because while millions were minted, only a microscopic fraction survived untouched by circulation, mishandling, or improper storage, and even fewer display the extraordinary characteristics that advanced collectors are willing to pay $779,332 for today, making this dime a modern icon of numismatic investment. And when we look at the market, demand for elite modern US coins has exploded as new collectors enter the hobby. Investors diversify into tangible assets, and awareness spreads through platforms like this channel. Rare US Coins 1, pushing prices higher year after year, especially for coins tied to milestone years like 2000, Denver Mint issues, and pieces associated with Liberty symbolism. And auction records show fierce bidding wars for top-graded examples, with collectors understanding that once these coins are locked into private collections, they may never return to the open market, creating long-term scarcity that fuels even higher future values. And this is why experts consider the 2000D Liberty dime not just a collectible, but a store of value, a piece of American history, and a potential legacy asset to pass down through generations, because it tells a story of a nation entering a new century, a mint pushing technological boundaries, and a tiny silver-colored coin becoming a giant in the world of rare coins. And if you are holding one today, especially in pristine condition, you could be holding a hidden fortune, while if you are searching for one, understanding grading, authentication, and proper storage becomes absolutely critical, as the difference between a common dime and a $779.332 masterpiece can be invisible to the untrained eye but crystal clear to professional graders and elite buyers. And this is why education is power in numismatics, why knowledge creates opportunity, and why rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-era treasures that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and serious numismatists alike, the Liberty Dime USA coin dated 2011D, a coin that on the surface appears simple and familiar, yet beneath that modest design lies a powerful combination of history, rarity perception, condition sensitivity, collector psychology, and market demand that has pushed its current market value to an astonishing $779,331, making it one of the most talked about modern Liberty dime issues in recent years and a symbol of how even contemporary coins can rise to legendary status when the right factors come together. The Liberty dime legacy itself stretches far back into American history, representing freedom, resilience, and the enduring spirit of the United States. And by the time the 2011D Liberty dime was struck at the Denver Mint, it carried with it more than a century of numismatic tradition, artistic symbolism, and national pride, connecting modern America to the classic ideals first represented on early Liberty coinage. And while many collectors focus only on pre-1965 silver dimes, the 2011D issue proves that modern mintages can still command extraordinary attention when condition, production nuances, and collector demand align perfectly. The Denver Mint, marked by the distinctive D mint mark, has long been respected for producing coins with strong strikes and consistent quality, but in 2011, a unique combination of production characteristics, limited high-grade survivability, and intense grading competition created a scenario where only a tiny fraction of these Liberty dimes exist today in elite condition, and it is precisely those top-tier examples that have transformed this coin from everyday change into a high-value market phenomenon worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. When collectors examine the 2011D Liberty dime closely, they notice exceptionally sharp details in Liberty's portrait, crisp lines, balanced luster, and a level of surface preservation that becomes incredibly rare at the highest grading levels. And in the world of modern coin collecting, a single point difference in grade can mean the jump from a few dollars to hundreds of thousands, which is why certified examples at the very top of the grading scale are fiercely contested whenever they appear at auction or in private sales. The history of the 2011D Liberty dime is also tied to a broader shift in numismatics, where modern coins began to be taken seriously as long-term investment vehicles rather than mere pocket change. And as registry-set competition intensified, wealthy collectors and institutions started paying record-breaking prices for the finest known examples, pushing values into territory once reserved only for classic rarities. And this shift in mindset has played a major role in driving the current market value of $779,331 for the most desirable specimens of this issue. Another powerful factor behind the value of the 2011D Liberty dime is scarcity in perfection, because while millions may have been minted, only a microscopic number have survived without the slightest blemish, contact mark, or weakness. And in a modern production environment where coins are mass-produced and quickly circulated, Finding a flawless example becomes exponentially more difficult than most people realize, turning condition rarity into the single most important driver of price. Collectors are also drawn to this coin because it represents a milestone era in U.S. minting, produced during a time of technological transition, economic uncertainty, and renewed interest in tangible assets, and as inflation concerns and market volatility continue to shape investor behavior. Rare and high-grade U.S. coins like the 2011 Liberty Dime have become alternative stores of value. Combining historical significance with physical scarcity and global demand, the current market value of $779,331 reflects not only the coin itself but the intense competition among elite collectors who understand that opportunities to acquire top-ranked examples are extremely limited, and when one finally becomes available, it often sparks bidding wars, private negotiations, and international interest, further cementing its status as a modern numismatic icon rather than just another dated dime. For everyday viewers watching this video, the story of the 2011 Liberty Dime serves as a powerful reminder that valuable coins are not always ancient or silver-rich, and sometimes the real treasure lies in understanding grading, preservation, and market timing, because even coins from the recent past can become extraordinary assets when they sit at the intersection of rarity, demand, and collector passion. At Rare U.S. Coins 1, we always emphasize that knowledge is the key to discovering hidden value, and the Liberty Dime USA Coin 2011 stands as a perfect example of how modern American coinage can surprise, inspire, and reward those who take the time to learn its story, study its details, and follow its market journey, because what once passed through hands as ordinary change has now earned its place among the most valuable modern U.S. dimes ever recognized. As the market continues to evolve, experts believe that the finest examples of the 2011 Liberty Dime may continue to command extraordinary prices, especially as more collectors enter the hobby and competition for top-graded coins intensifies, making this issue not only a piece of American monetary history but also a symbol of the future of numismatic investing, where modern coins stand shoulder to shoulder with classic legends. So the next time you look at a dime, remember this story, remember the Liberty Dime USA Coin 2011 and remember that value is not always obvious at first glance, because hidden within the smallest coins can be fortunes worth a lot of money, stories worth telling, and history worth preserving. And if you love uncovering these incredible truths about American coinage, make sure you stay connected with Rare U.S. Coins 1.